Hi everyone, it's Aya. I'm coming to you today to talk about Mars and Aries. So Mars just transited into Aries on June 27th, and it will be there in Aries until January 6th, 2021. And as somebody with some strong Mars energy in their own chart, I felt compelled to talk about some of this energy with you. And so, what I have here are three interpretations of the Emperor Tarot card. And the Emperor Tarot card it's the Aries card. And I just have three different interpretations here, and I'll work through them from left to right. But before I do that, I do want to just start with some channeled messages. This particular energy is a very impulsive energy. You may want to take some extra care in managing those impulses. So, shopping, dating, risky decisions, booking expensive trips. Take a moment to reflect and think about your impulses. I'm finding right now that if I have an impulse but wait 2 minutes, 3 minutes, it simply passes. But it is quite intense when it's there, these types of impulses that are generated by this energy. So the other part of the impulsiveness is it's more of a gesture that I feel is apparent right now. Is I feel a grabbing energy and like a desperate grabbing energy. And so this kind of snatching or grabbing energy is very apparent right now, and not necessarily in the literal sense, but perhaps in more of the, I'd say, emotional sense and material security. I feel that again, just the ability to control impulses is a little bit lower than usual, or perhaps that the impulses are quite a bit stronger than usual. So our willpower is very much being tested right now by this particular transit. Again, these types of desperate grabs that I'm seeing, or this snatching, I think this is also related to feelings of what is available and in front of you in the moment versus what you want long term. Be aware that this type of impulsive energy may push you to grab what's in front of you right now, but it may be at the expense of a future long-term goal or a future opportunity. So just be aware of that you may get what you want immediately right now if you act impulsively, but it may really compromise a future outcome or really diminish how positive or how beneficial or how healing a certain scenario or opportunity could be. Also be aware of any increased levels of aggression. This is a very aggressive, dominant, masculine type of energy. And to that extent, it's also a good time to become more aware of our egos and perhaps work with our egos a little bit and really pay attention to conversations and situations where we feel attacked or we feel vulnerable, and why that is, and what type of ego response do we have, and perhaps take a moment to sit with, why is that the response that I have to that scenario? Why do I keep choosing this reaction, or why do I keep feeling like I have to react in this way? So you may want to think about your impulses, your reactions. Try to avoid any snap decisions or quick decisions, or making decisions without the full amount of information. Really, this is an energy that's going to push you to be impulsive, and you may end up being foolish, or again, you may end up snatching an opportunity that's immediately in front of you, but again, may compromise something in the future. So ego awareness is very important right now. And now to start working through some of these interpretations here of the Emperor. So I have 3 here displayed. The one on the left is the traditional Rider-Waite interpretation. The second here is an artist's interpretation of the Emperor as Zeus, as he is in all his glory in Greek mythology. And last here I have, this would be an Archangel Oracle Tarot, or pardon me, Oracle deck by Doreen Virtue, where Archangel Michael is the Emperor. So if you're familiar with that energy or any one of these, I think it all applies. But again, I like to always look at different interpretations of tarot, of ideas, and just really, the different images just speak to me and convey different things to me. So to start on our left side here, this is again the traditional interpretation of the Emperor. So obviously he's sitting on a throne. We have Aries represented. He's holding an ankh. He's draped in these very luscious red robes, but also he has a suit of armor underneath those robes. And as you can see, in his right hand, he's holding an ankh, and in his left hand is an orb. Some descriptions I've seen is it's supposed to be an orb of the world, or, I think we can interpret that in a wide manner of things, in a wide manner of ways. Orb of energy, perhaps, raw potential, holding your own potential in your own hands, I think is another interpretation. It's also a very stern image, right? Crown, throne, very stern, long beard, not an approachable energy, and not always an energy that wants to be approached. It's more likely to approach you, I believe, when it wants something. But to keep kind of touching on this, the Emperor really represents leadership, and I feel that many people are being called to new areas of leadership, and not necessarily in a career context, but more so societal leadership, moral leadership, maybe family friend leadership, if that makes sense, more of a relationship leader. Or kind of social interaction leader. You really need to work on leading by example at this time. Another energy that comes along with Mars and Aries is imitation. So again, Aries is number 1 in astrology and the zodiac, so it's the first sign, and it is a me first type of energy. And it's also a pioneering energy. Which is important to note as well. You may want to think about areas in your life that you're pioneering right now. You may be learning a new hobby, studying a new skill, maybe practicing a new language. I just got somebody's learning to code. I got that coming in. So if you're learning to code, learning a new language, this is all great. And again, very masculine energy. Sometimes difficult to deal with. It really is an energy that demands that you are in the right place, you're confident, you can stand up for yourself, you are accountable. All these qualities are demanded by the Emperor. And now to move on to the second card here, where we have Zeus displayed. We have kind of moon and sun and star images here. And we have Zeus holding a lightning bolt, clothed in robes. And again, this, I think, unlocks a little more meaning or a new and interesting interpretation of the Emperor energy. I think many of us are familiar with the Zeus type of energy. So a leader, very stubborn, bullheaded, arrogant, but also very sensual, very prolific, wide network, many children. So there's a lot of productivity, fertility, and potential that comes along with this energy. And then to touch on the last card here, so if you have any background in angels, This is, of course, Archangel Michael, who is a protector. Usually, again, he has the sword with him. He's also on what appears to be a throne. I think I see a sword and a lute, I think he has with him there. And also quite kind of large divine wings, right? We have kind of this rainbow type of image and pattern on the wings there. So a protective energy. And again, that structure and discipline is also, it's demanded of people during this time to lead, to be a example for others, to be organized and logical, to control those impulses, and control any thoughts of aggression. And one way to do that, which aligns with this energy, is exercise, and more specifically what I would call repetitive exercise. So running or biking or rowing, maybe if you're on a body of water, you're canoeing or kayaking. So very repetitive exercise is what Mars in Aries likes. Of course, if you have a different type of exercise that you like, feel free to follow that, but usually that's what Mars in Aries wants. But the Archangel Michael is a protector. So this is a highly protective energy, a fatherly energy, which is quite interesting because this is all starting now during Cancer season in 2020. And of course, Cancer is a very feminine, mothering energy. So you may be seeing some distinctions come up there with the urges and impulses to act wildly and go out and party, but also knowing that it may not be safe, or it may not lead to a stable home, or it may not take you to the future that you want with your family, or something along those lines. Archangel Michael is also a fighting spirit, or you'd say that Mars in Aries really captures the idea of a fighting spirit or fighting will. This high degree of willpower, high degree of intent and focus. It's a very unrelenting type of energy. Again, you may be experiencing these types of impulses to reach out to someone, to meet up with someone who you otherwise wouldn't. But again, sit with those impulses and you'll likely find that they will slowly dissipate. They'll slowly fade away. And just to touch a little bit more on Archangel Michael, again, this is the idea of divine protection, divine love. Archangel Michael also can cut cords to past trauma or past injury or issues or concern. This is an energy that he has, right? He knows how to wield the sword. And again, as I look more closely at this image, I see that he's holding a staff and has a sword and a lute next to him. So again, many tools available at his disposal. Being a soft but talented, passionate musician, being a trained and skillful warrior. And also I would say that the staff represents something of a sage-like energy, or something a little bit more wise and older. So if you find the Emperor energy a little bit easier to access through Archangel Michael, I think that's a good place to start with it, because it is a very intense, fiery, bright type of energy. And so to wrap up my little talk here, I did want to share a channeled message that I have with my lovely viewers here. I happened to channel a little bit before this reading just about Mars and Aries and anything I needed to share with anyone watching my videos. So what I have to say is this: do not stop moving to look around. You will lose your place if you stop. The environment that you're in right now is confusing at the moment, so continue to move through. this dark forest instead of getting lost in the thick darkness. Keep moving into lighter pursuits and into the light. And with that, that wraps up my short interpretation of Mars and Aries at this time. I hope you found some value in some of the things I shared here today. Take care. Goodbye.